Exciting episode of OK Garage. I take my brother to Albuquerque to have his retina reattached. While he's face down in recovery, I decided to go have fun. I went to Tenths Motorsports and got an interview with Shea Seefeldt, the owner and the host of the show Runs Good on Motor Trend. Go back, find that. I'll try to find a link and put it below. But go watch the shows. They're excellent. The first time that I went by there, he had just finished the WRX Subaru, which was the last episode of season 2, before Motor Trend kind of folded its doors and quit. He still has his shop, and he took me for a tour and showed me the cars he's working on, the cars he drives, the cars he has fun with, the car that next time I go up there, I want to learn how to drift in. It's the Nissan, the Fire Nissan. Anyway, enjoy the show. I had a blast. It's one of my best shows. All right, we're here at Tenths Motorsports, and I've got Shae with me. You'll remember him from Runs Good on Motor Trend TV. Maybe. A long back. I remember it. Last time I was here, they just finished the Subaru WRX and had it in the yard, and the Roadkill Cadillac. That was the ramp truck. Yeah. That was here too. So it was a good visit. And it's been a couple of years, so I came back, and he's going to give us a tour of his shop.
Yeah, if you've seen the show, not much has really changed, really. It looks pretty much the same.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
All right, we'll just tag along behind you.
This is our kind of front office waiting area, not much really. This place used to be an old gas station, which explains the really dangerous hazardous stuff here. That's where the gas pumps used to be.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay.
So whoever bought the building repurposed it, and it used to just be a service center. So this bay in here was the only real bay to exist. So the pumps were there. You'd come into, but I believe this was like the door you enter to the lobby. And then these two bays, which we use for storage, were actually the bays where you'd, get your carburetor jets changed out, get your oil checked, that stuff back in the day. So yeah, this place is, we had originally intended to do work out of this building, but it's way too hot. As you can see, it's kind of miserable as it is. But it's mostly storage for a lot of my junk and cars that we have in various stages of work.
Cool. Yeah, it is pretty warm in here, and it's still morning.
Exactly. Yeah, so we've made quite a mess lately, as you can see.
That happens when you're busy.
Yeah, so this is they call this the LT or the Gen 2 small block.
Okay.
We're putting this in a 57 Chevy. Yeah, just in the middle of mock-up stages right now. Trying to make it look, stylish, but still using classic components. So we're doing lots of hard lines, things like that. But this will be fun.
Cool. Yeah, it looks like a nice one.
It's he kind of gave us free reign to do a number of things. So as far as color schemes, different components, he's not really looking to make a ton of power, but it's a really beautiful vehicle. So we're trying to make a power plant that looks right for the period, but also looks something special.
Cool.
So lots of black, chrome, that kind of stuff.
You didn't go with Chevy Orange?
No, apparently these, I don't really know much about the Gen 2 small block stuff, the LT stuff, but I feel like they came in, I remember if I look back on them, they were mostly black than orange. So these were the ones that came in, like, I guess the Vortex stuff, like in the early 90s.
Oh, okay,
so
I got you.
Not that old, but yeah, really cool. It's cool to see one of these actually carbureted and not like the old school TPI stuff.
Yeah.
So I got parts everywhere, various things at this point. This is a really cool car. It's a resto mod that has I think it's actually a Gen 4 LS engine in right now that we're doing. Didn't have a park brake, and the interior's been. I think it's like a 3rd or a 4th gen come out. No, wait, no, sorry, 5th gen come out. Interior, right? 2010. 2010. So that's a 4. I don't know. Maybe 5th or 6th gen, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the no parking brake or anything like that when he first got it. So we're kind of wrapping up a couple things. Getting the fans wired in properly because this is cool.
Yeah.
And then getting the parking brake to work because it is a manual transmission. So he'll.
I gotta have that.
Yeah, definitely be ideal to have that. But really good looking car overall. Not bad. So you can see some. It's a repaint. They didn't do a terrible job, but it's pretty good when it's on the ground.
Yeah, it looked good when we walked in.
Yeah.
Wow.
We don't really do a lot of Mopar stuff, but it seems like often it's like that thing, like one person's like, oh, I went to this place to get some work done, and then they all just start swarming, so we've got a bunch of Mopar engines we're swapping out recently. You know, Mopar's doing Mopar things.
Right.
Yeah, we happen to have two 57 Chevys in here at the moment. We're rebuilding the carburetor on one and fixing some fuel delivery issues on it. That's actually the 57 that's
nice.
going to have that motor in it.
That Vortex?
Yeah, it's a beautiful car. Like it's really, really nice. It's got a couple issues, but it's overall really nice. And there's really nothing wrong with this engine whatsoever. It just has it's got the the two-piece rear main seal, so it's leaking terribly. And when you go in it, they make, if you have a two-piece rear main small block, they make really nice single-piece gaskets now that you can cut, and you have to unbolt the rear main and fish it in and tighten everything back down. They do a pretty good job, but they still don't do as good of a job as like a newer small block with a proper one main.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a beautiful car. Runs great, convertible, pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, interior's great.
Can I open it?
Yeah, absolutely. Have at it. He wouldn't care.
Wow, that's pretty.
Yeah, the color scheme. I don't even know if I don't think this is an OEM color scheme. I can't imagine it is, but it's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous, yeah. With the black?
Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Drives really well too. It just leaks a bunch of oil and power steering fluid. All the above.
Cool.
This is a little bit more our wheelhouse over here. This is where where we got our name. You want to say that?
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's a old Datsun. This is an SR20. This is a Nissan turbocharged four-cylinder engine. They weren't all turbocharged, the good ones are. And yeah, it's going to be a standalone engine management system, custom harness. But as far as outside of being fuel injected, this is a pretty basic sports car engine setup. It should make 230, 240 horsepower in the wheels, which in this is dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot to hold on to.
Yeah, it's actually really hard to see how small this car is, just to kind of give you an idea. You know, I'm right at 6 feet, and I can kind of grab both ends here. So this thing's tiny. And this is it's got some work, but it should be really cool when it's all said and done.
That's cool.
Yep, this is my current favorite drift car. Only favorite because it's the only one that consistently runs.
Yeah.
So,
how long have you been drifting?
Actually, I used to do time attack type stuff in autocross. And when COVID happened, the SCCA basically shut down operations across the country. So there was no SCCA for a year.
Wow.
And you know, I'm younger than most SCCA members, so I was like, we're outside. Let's, we should enjoy outside. Let's keep going. And they just didn't want to have any events whatsoever. So, but the drift community is a lot more grassroots, and it's just really doesn't have a lot of rules. So they were the only ones running events. So I bought myself the 350Z that was actually up on storage over there. That's blown up. I bought that one, and that's how I learned to drift. And that was when COVID happened. So it was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah. So on and off about 5 years, and then this has been my current weapon of choice. It's really reliable, and it's got a bunch of nitrous, which is why I really love it. Check this thing out.
And you're on Faster with Finnegan on one of the episodes. Didn't they race you? They made a car and raced you, I think?
So it was back, I think they called it Faster with Newbern and Cotton at that time.
Oh, was it? Had it changed? Okay.
Transitioned over, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I never got to be on Faster with Finnegan, unfortunately, but it was just Cotton and Newbern. And then I did get to be on the episode with Roadkill, so I did get to work with Freiberger and Finnegan, which was great. So yeah, I remember the funniest part about that whole thing, besides just how ridiculous the rear end was set up on it, was we spent a good 30 minutes trying to figure out how we could take that axle and invert it and put like a margarita maker on the bottom of it.
Oh.
So that was really fun. And then
That would have been cool.
I was responsible for bending some brake lines on that thing. So
Yeah.
I still lose a little bit of sleep over if anything happened. Like I was the one that could have killed the two guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is what's great about this particular. This is a 370. It's mostly stock except for the nitrous and the exhaust. So it's
Oh, wow.
it's a real workhorse. Like it's only a V6. Doesn't really sound particularly nice, and but it just works. So it's really hard to fight it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I like the wrap.
Yeah, drifting's really like we joke that it's like a fashion show, or that it's it's like the ice skating, the figure skating of the motorsports world. So it gives you a little bit of a freedom to kind of go outside your comfort zone and just do something different. And this is my first endeavor in doing vehicle wraps and designing wraps, because it's way more complicated than I ever expected. And I spent about 3 weeks on Adobe Illustrator learning how to use the software, figuring out what I was doing, and then trying to color match the color that actually goes out on a printer versus what you actually put in a computer.
Right.
Two totally different things. So I was looking at possibly doing that as a service, and it was so expensive and so time consuming that I was like, I'm not.
Yeah.
So leave that up to other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got some of the. You want to see the other shows? I got some cars from the shows just sitting outside.
Yeah, you bet.
Follow me.
So I brought my wife's 2011 Ford Fiesta. Do you have a tune for it?
Yeah. Well, do I have a tune for it?
Yeah, make it
so
not a wife's car.
I think I need to look and see. I think HP Tuners does something with the Fiesta, which the Fiesta is actually it's one of my favorite autocross cars, actually. Yeah, we got various things rotting away over here.
Oh wow.
Yeah. This is like a passion project for me and a couple of guys at the shop. That's a Nissan Titan engine, a V8 engine out of a Nissan from like the Titan Armadas.
You were starting this last time I was here.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Well, dang, it's been that long. So yeah, we started it, finished it, broke it a bunch of times, and now it's sitting out here just collecting dust.
Nice.
It's really great. It's actually really great. It's got some charging issues we got to work out still.
Okay.
But yeah, it's another drift car. And then we got these two cars, which are, we wanted to do like a rental type thing for.
Oh, I got you.
For people, if people want to learn how to drift. They can come here and pay for tires and some seat time, and we'll have some cars to kind of show them how to do it. These are some of the more popular ones. You get a E46, which is one of the most cost-effective, like entry-level drift car, and then a G35, which is really
nice.
just a different-looking 350Z.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. And I got tires collecting up. Every time I look here, there's like more tires.
Yeah, I'd have to write you up.
I know. That's when you came by, I was like, hopefully he's not going to come look at my situation. This is the Mustang from our very first episode, the Soul Crusher one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's runs still. I'm not really sure what I was going to do with it. Memento, maybe, something like that. So, it's got a couple beverage cups, just kind of keeping rain out of it. But, yeah, fun car. This car is a really fun one. This is it's got a lot of different colors on it, but funny but yet a little bit sad story was I had a customer that was kind of down, and someone actually tried to catch this car on fire, like purposefully.
Oh wow.
So if you come over here, you can see the burn marks, and then they like tried to start a gas tank fire with, I think, a rag or something like that, and then it caught the entire electronics, the emission stuff on the back of the car on fire.
Oh wow.
And then it turned into an electrical fire, which burned all the way to the engine bay. It was going to cost a ton of money to get this thing run up again, because of the particular year, make, and model that it is really unique to this year, and the fact that it was a manual transmission. So I offered to buy it from him, and then I think he reluctantly said yes at that point, and we spent a bunch of time, far more time than we should have, taking an automatic harness and getting it to work with the manual transmission, and it runs decent enough to be a drift car. So this is like, if you want to learn to drift, this is the first car that we let you drive, basically.
Sweet.
It's yeah, we call it the fire car because it was caught on fire.
Appropriate.
Yeah, but yeah, it still works. Quite a bit of junk everywhere around here. When Runs Good was canceled, we had already planned for like 6 episodes of season 3, and we actually filmed episode 1 completely of season 3, and then as the entire crew was flying in that day for episode 2 is when we got the phone call to shut down production. So we had procured a bunch of cars to do the season already at that point,
right.
Many of them which we already sold, but this 190E right here, this Mercedes, was one that I had proposed as a project car. If you don't know much about these particular cars, they're not all that interesting as they sit, but they did offer an Evo version, which was like their racing version, which I think it's an acquired taste, but I really loved it, so it was cool they let me do it. So when they canceled the show, they gave us some opportunities to buy some of the production cars, and yeah, I took that one.
Yeah.
Someday I'll get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a bunch of random stuff, drift cars, various project cars at various levels, a boat. In fact, Motor Trend was supposed to pick this boat up, and they never did. They went. So if they're watching right now, they were supposed to send me a title so I could sell this boat on their behalf. They never did, because they probably didn't have a title. So if Finnegan actually sees this video, come pick up your boat, dude.
Right.
I don't want to do with it.
Right. Yeah, I'll give him a call as soon as I get home.
Yeah, that van was one. So what many people may not know, I don't think it really matters anymore to even talk about it, but season 3 we actually brought Dan was kicked off the show basically because of a number of mishaps, and then Dave Chappelle from Dirt Every Day was brought in, and he was actually going to be brought in on the show on season 3. So we did episode 1, which was a Camaro, a 3rd gen Camaro with Dave Chappelle, and then we ordered a bunch of random vehicles. This Ford van was one that Dave really liked, and I also liked the idea. It was pretty cool. It's got a 5.0, actually an actual 5.0 in it. It's got an automatic transmission, but I do plan one day to put a TKX in that thing. So that's what my goal is.
Sweet.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Haul a bunch of tires around with it.
Yeah.
Mostly customer cars. This right here is the 944 from season 2.
Recognize that.
I got the opportunity to own that as well, and it's just kind of sitting here, like many other of my cars that I don't have time to do anything with.
Right.
So this one does run.
Runs good.
It's probably got bad gas in it. So yeah, and more customer cars, mostly Nissans. A lot of broken Nissans around here. And then the Cobra, my favorite one. This one I believe was, I think it was episode 1 of season 2, I believe. I think that's what it was. The show was like, this one to actually make work in a week was a nightmare. We got really lucky for a number of reasons, but it was actually the one that was most fun to drive. You can drive around anywhere you want. Looks terrible. We wrapped it instead of, when you try to put together a transformation in 1 week, you basically just wrap everything.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So that one towards the end of season 2, one of the executives at Motor Trend Productions offered to sell it to me, and yeah, gives me for a really good deal. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, I know a guy that has a 98 convertible with a V6 in it.
Yeah?
Yeah. That'd make a good drift car.
Yeah. Actually, so this is either the New Edge or the SN95, right? The SN95 and the New Edge, I believe those are the two like right next to each other, the ascending chassis. They're fantastic drift cars, actually.
Really?
The components to make them a drift car, they have more angle in the front, really cheap in comparison to many other kits. And while they don't make a lot of horsepower, they do make a good amount of torque if you do get yourself like the single overhead cam. They're great drift cars, man.
Really?
So probably the best one, but no one likes to drift a Mustang for some reason.
Well, they're afraid they're going to crash into the crowd.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's like
they always pull left into the crowd.
Yeah, out of control. It's a, I don't know, everyone wants to drift a Japanese vehicle for some reason, even though like they're not really the best drift vehicles in most cases. It's just
where they started. Yeah.
So I got enough projects here for at least the next decade or so for me to kind of deal with.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
So my brother and I were visiting last night, and I came up with a good question. You've got a 4-car garage.
Oof.
What are you going to put in it?
Anything?
Anything.
I would say if we're talking like classic cars, now I do like some American classic cars. I would say it's gonna be a Falcon.
Okay.
Right? Would be one of them. I do like a lot of European classic cars. So I have like a real affinity towards like Aston Martins. And even though like it's the DB9, I believe that's what it is. The classic Aston Martins are really fantastic. I have a real like love for the Audi R8, so I'd have to get one of those just as my everyday. Yeah. And then the car that kind of started it all for me was the 3000 GT, Mitsubishi 3000 GT, VR4 in 1999. That's like the car as I was going through high school was my dream car at that time. And I bought one of the cheap ones, and it was so bad and it was so unreliable that I had to fix it all the time, and that's where I got into cars. It was almost a necessity. So sometimes you be careful what you wish for.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Those are the 4 cars I think that I'd be really happy with.
Cool. All right, good deal. Well, thank you for your time.
Always appreciate it.
It's always a great coming by.